thanks to Alex Hobhouse for suggesting that we stop wittering on about like generic innovation stuff and actually pick a theme. And this week's theme is travel. So this is the holiday special. It's the Innovation Ramble. This is a weekly podcast from me and Al where we share stuff that's inspired us over the last few days. This week focusing entirely on travel. Yes, it's the holiday special. And where are we, Al?
We're at Circe's Champagne Bar at St Pancras, Europe's longest champagne bar. If you hear some horns, that'll be the Eurostars arriving from Brussels and Périgord du Nord. And Circe's here, home of the best sausage brioche pap and the nicest people. Darius's smile could, launch 1,000 ships.
It's the best way to start any day, genuinely. And who did we meet this morning? We met Sharon.
Yes.
Sarah?
Sharon.
Yeah, Sharon's very nice. So we've met everyone here. It's we're almost like little mini celebrities at Circe's. It's brilliant. So
we wish. We wish.
And it was great last week. We featured the social network of things, Gum, last week. So I've been tweeting with those guys this week. It's been lovely. So what we're going to do this week is talk through travel and holidays, but in kind of 3 sections. So we'll talk about innovations that we found around planning a holiday, then travelling itself, and then finally holidaying and being there. So we're going to ramble on a bit between us. So I found some really interesting stuff, actually. It was a kind of a theory around the future of travel from Skyscanner. It's a brilliant website. I'll share the link in the show notes. But the co-founder Gareth Williams said that travel search and booking in the future will be as easy as buying a book on Amazon, which, if we're honest, it's not currently. I mean, it's such a pain. I mean, I think it's one of those middle class problems. Booking a holiday is so difficult. But actually, compared to a lot of user experiences online, actually booking a holiday is a real pain in the arse. So there's a lovely quote from global futurist Daniel Burrus, author of Techno Trends. He says that we'll have artificial intelligence devices on us, much like an advanced smartphone or smartwatch that understands our preferences, that understands what kind of people we are, to give us personalised travel experiences and itineraries based on our likes and dislikes, acting as a tour guide, which I think is fascinating. But this is really cool. So Disney have created a new interface called Revel, R-E-V-E-L, nothing to do with the chocolates, but it's I think they're called like haptic travel. So it gives you tactile feedback through tiny vibrations on virtual 3D objects. So the system will allow people to feel the spines of a cactus, it says, or the craters of the moon, or the outlines of a delicate object. So not only could you see what the thing looks like, put on virtual reality headwear and experience what it would be like to be actually there, but you could actually feel the sand run through your fingers, or the touch of a garment. So there's going to be a lot of technology about projecting ourselves into the location even before we get there.
Yeah, it's some exciting way to be looking at booking a holiday. I know that Marriott Hotels created a booth that you could go and stand in, and it played music and sounds from a destination. It changed the digital vista so it felt like you were on the beach in Montego Bay, and then kind of like smells would come through too. So you get this full 360 immersion, and then decide, do I want to go and book that holiday? So tech really brilliant at playing a role in like casting us out to where we might end up going on holiday.
So what might happen is that there's the whole movement around mindfulness. You've seen companies like Headspace encouraging people to take 5 or 10 minutes out of the workday to meditate and actually kind of shut our brains off. You take technology like virtual reality technology, like haptic gloves where you can touch and feel things. I saw an add-on for the Oculus Rift that did smells as well. So we might even take like micro holidays, so you can actually go and sit on a beach in Trinidad
while you're still at your desk.
Yeah, for 5 minutes, and you just you just kind of absorb yourself in that environment. So perhaps we will start having these mini digital holidays every day.
That sounds very appealing, and I think and the reference you made to Amazon is really relevant actually. You buy a book for $12, you buy a pair of shoes for £50, and you get an email or a bit of communication every time it moves. You know, when it's coming out of the warehouse, when it's being shipped, it's on its way. And only recently you're starting to get that kind of level of communications around bigger purchases. You know, you buy a Rolls Royce, you buy a house, you drop the deposit, then you hear nothing. And it's the same on a holiday. You know, you're spending a good chunk of cash. It'd be great to know, you know, that how things are progressing. The holidays, the hotel rooms getting ready for you.
Yeah,
they're preparing the beach. There should be better communication. So I know it can be a bit difficult on Amazon, but they certainly, and some people feel like there's too many emails, but they certainly keep you in the loop. And that's a relatively low-ticket item. So I'd like to talk about a new service called Amons.
Amons.
Amons. That's right. You can check out more at amons.co. And on Twitter, that's at AmonsList, AMONSLIST. And Amons is an international exchange between hosts and travellers. Think of it a bit like Airbnb, but with free services rolled in. So Amons provides an environment where people who have places to stay but need help in their lives, you can do a kind of service swap. So if I'm a host and I've got and I have a accommodation, I can offer that for free in return for somebody maybe helping me with my website or tending my garden. So if you've got some skills and you're going to stay somewhere for free, or you've got accommodation and you're looking for some help, there can be a kind of free exchange of skills and services on Amons. The travellers, you know, kind of find that online. There's a really simple interface. You put in your keywords, location, and you choose some category: car repair, dog walking, electronics, and you find something.
Do they do child rearing and looking after and stuff? You know, give you and the missus a bit of a line. You know, they could.
The screenshot I've got only goes down to G, so parenting isn't on there, but we'll have a look. Certainly I found some stuff for like music lovers in Canada were needed, help renovate our studio, so you go and live there and help renovate the studio. Somebody in Agen in France looking for kitchen and construction helper, and then in Hong Kong we'll provide a room and food in exchange for web developing.
Well, we do have a listener in Bhutan, so if those guys want to come over here and help us prep for the podcast.
Are we big in Bhutan? If you're in Bhutan, you're listening, tweet us, you know, go to our website at theinnovationramble.com, let us know you're there. So the network for these guys includes Amons, Virgin Atlantic, Lufthansa and Travelex. It is a subscription service. $6.99 is one option monthly, or for $60 you've got the whole year. But if you've got an accommodation, you can advertise for free.
So what this reminded me of when I read through it this morning was there's two competing websites that have a very similar name, but essentially the two businesses called Bud and Breakfast, and this is cannabis tourism, right? So the first one's a hotel in Colorado. I think it's legal to smoke it indoors or something, and you can. In the hotel, you can get a wake and bake breakfast. And I rode through the website. And
love it.
And they also do office functions and weddings. I mean,
really?
Yeah. But there's a Airbnb version of this, which is budandbreakfast.com, which is an Airbnb for cannabis-friendly homes. So if you can't be away from your favourite bowl when you go on holiday, then it shows places where you can legally, and without offending the host, in fact, probably join in with the host, have a kind of more spiritual, transcendental holiday with smoking some marijuana. So that was quite a cool thing. And also along those lines was Airbnb for dogs, a Japanese site called Dog Huggy. So when you go away, you can, people will take your dog into their home. But I think like every day in the office, I see something which is Airbnb for something. So
yeah,
Airbnb
definitely.
for cheese, or Airbnb for monkeys. It's just. I even saw Airbnb for Airbnb, which is people who rent their homes out on Airbnb. When they get Airbnb guests, they can go and stay with other people who do Airbnb a lot that have got a bit of space.
Okay, deep. The Bud is it Bud and Breakfast?
Bud and Breakfast.
Bud and Breakfast. I mean there's so much now in innovation in that space. Not sure whether my kitchen and construction would happen if I got some people in there. I'd like to talk about a new service called Duffel, DUFL. So I've let's assume I've kind of made my bookings now and thinking about travelling.
We're in the travelling section. So we've booked our cannabis hotel. We've sent the dog off to Dog Huggy.
Yeah. And we're swapping our podcast skills for 2 weeks in a prime New York location. Where they've got Wake and Bake and someone else's dog. This is sounding like a great holiday.
Good holiday so far.
Yeah. And so, and I'm not even going to take my suitcase to New York, Tom, because I'm going to use Duffel, brand new service, dufl.com. Packing and unpacking is the biggest nightmare of holidays. And what Duffel's going to do is remove all that. Once you've registered for the service, a Duffel suitcase is FedEx to your door. You pack it with your regular travel clothes, and then they take it away. And then when you book your holiday and you've booked for a destination, Duffel will send the suitcase to arrive ahead of you getting there. So at my hotel when I arrive, there's my Duffel suitcase. It's pre-packed. I wear the clothes on my holiday, and then at the end of the holiday, I repack them, and then FedEx takes the suitcase away. So I don't have to pack. I don't have to take my suitcase to the airport. I don't have to travel with it. It just turns up at my destination. And then when I send it away at the end, they wash all the stuff, they clean it, they repack it, and on the app, I've got a virtual suitcase where I can choose what I want in the suitcase from the wardrobe that they're managing for me.
That's unbelievable.
$10.
Can you put other stuff in? Can you put an iPad in there and like all your tech and your hairdryer?
Good question. Don't know, but
just clothes.
I don't see why not. I mean, this idea of them just having this massive warehouse where they're storing your stuff, fantastic. It's I think it's $100 to kick off the service, and then $10 a month for them to look after your suitcase.
Can you imagine that the most horrendous job, though, would be working for Duffel and taking in people's dirty laundry after a week's worth of holiday in New York in a cannabis hotel?
Unless you're a nosy Parker, in which case that would be like absolute, gold dust. What's gone on here? What are these people been up to? And because they've got a relationship with FedEx, you can get stuff overnighted. So you've forgotten that, should have packed those pair of shorts. Bang, you can get them delivered to you in 24 hours.
So it's all about ease. I think we've both noticed this a lot when researching travel and holidaying. And a great example of this is Lounge Buddy. So, there's lots of lounges in airports, and it's all like you can't come in unless you're like a BA Premium, Virgin Atlantic, Super Gold. You can't get in. But actually, there's an app that talks to those lounges now. So if you're in wherever airport, you can say, I'm looking for a lounge, and then it'll say, you can get into this for like 10, 20, 30 quid, which is great, because if your flight gets cancelled and you've got a 12-hour wait, you can jump into one of these premium lounges without having to be a Qatar customer. So really nice small little idea there. And we're seeing a lot of apps on the Apple Watch around travel, and actually the travelling bit. So there's Air Canada, EasyJet, Emirates, American Airlines have all got Apple Watch apps.
Yep.
I mean, it might just seem a bit like, we've got an Apple Watch app, but you think when you're dragging suitcases through the airport or you're in a bit of a hurry, actually just being able to look at your watch about what gate, or taking your phone out in the airport, it's always a bit of a pain. Yeah. First world problem, admittedly, but I think watches are going to be a really great thing actually to have. And I was going to chat later on, but I think one of the Intercontinental Hotels Group have a translator app on their watch, so it can translate into 13 different languages. So I think that might be a really good use case for the smartwatch. Might actually be being on holiday. You
give me an example of one of the languages? In real time? No, I was just looking to...
Wow.
No, let's move on.
Put me right on the spot.
Great to hear that you're getting on board with the watches. Definitely in that travel situation, I know, even just walking around London, how great my Moto 360 is at just kind of keeping me in the loop and navigation. It's going to be a game changer, and no surprise that all those airlines have come on board.
So another thing about airports that we've read about is that airports are going to become a lot nicer places. Like Singapore's Changi Airport, it's got a butterfly roof, 5-story vertical garden, waterfalls, 4 cinemas, and a rooftop swimming pool. And I think a lot of the innovations in airports are going to be outside spaces, because they're quite close experience usually. But even better than this, I was reading about haptic gloves. Really difficult to describe what haptic gloves are, but essentially they're gloves that you wear that can apply pressure to your skin. So you could essentially touch an object in thin air, and the glove would make you feel like you'd actually touch something. So if you put your finger in the air, it would actually create pressure on the end of your finger to feel like you touch something. So it's haptic gloves. It can make you touch something that isn't there. So they're talking about in flight, you will be able to have like a Skype chat with your kids, and using these haptic gloves, you'd be able to kind of rub the back of their head or touch their shoulders. So you could actually give them a hug goodnight or shake a hand with a business colleague. So the idea that the in-flight experience will be this multi-sensory experience that will allow you to touch and feel and smell and converse in a way that is a lot more like real life.
It's possibilities of in-flight entertainment starting to explode with virtual reality and haptic gloves. So, and Air New Zealand last year created a brilliant wearable, a wristband that you use your smartphone to give it details about where you're going, and it would tell you when to sleep, when to drink water, basically on that flight, in order that you arrived in kind of perfect physical shape. So there's a lot of stuff happening actually on board in the flight in terms of innovation, which is really exciting.
Yeah, our futuristic holiday in the future is starting to sound pretty good with our duffel bag going over there. It's going to be ready for us. We're on the flight, haptic shaking hands with people.
Absolutely.
We spent the day lounging by the pool in Heathrow Airport.
Yes, and if you wanted to just make sure that we were dressed impeccably, Tom, we should check out The Vane, thevane.com. It's the way for us to ensure we're perfectly packed in our duffel bag. Basically, The Vane checks out weather report and then gives you stylish tips about which Thierry Lasry, is it, or Lasgo sunglasses you need to take, what kind of beautiful umbrella. So it's kind of like curated style for men and women based on the weather setting. So you never turn up in a destination not looking cool and dressed for the weather.
I could do with that here, to be honest. That'd be...
Well, under this beautiful roof at St Pancras, there's no rain coming in. It is a bit gloomy though.
So we're there. We've arrived. We're on holiday now.
We're on holiday.
Beaming down.
The sun's beaming down, and I'm kind of going to burst that bubble a bit because I've got quite a functional
really?
response. Yes. Which is focused around deliveries that still need to happen. Life goes on when you're on holiday. You not necessarily your like Ocado order, but if I had ordered a new pair of shoes or something, and I wanted to have them delivered while I'm on holiday, you could tap into Audi's new service, which is called Connect Easy delivery service. Basically, if you allow Audi to track your vehicle while you're on holiday, you can use a smartphone app to give DHL access to the boot of your car so they can drop deliveries in while you're on holiday. So the delivery driver gets an access code for a set period of time, and he can open the boot, leave your delivery in the back of your Audi, and then it's there when you get home. Cutting down on road usage.
Oh my God.
That's what I worry about when I'm on holiday.
The future of travel, getting your
it's important to know
that delivered to the back of your Audi.
Those Pampers, that job load of Pampers that I've ordered, is there the minute I get home.
So slightly different to that is the Hena Hotel in Japan that's going to be opening in a couple of months' time, that is staffed by humanoid robots. And they will greet guests, they'll do a check-in process, carry your bags to the room, and do general housekeeping duties. And I know you're hot on languages this episode, so English, Japanese, Chinese, and Korean. And I love this quote on the website, it's brilliant. You are sure to sense the warmth that these robots exude when chatting with them as they efficiently go about their duties. Brilliant. So that's a humanoid hotel. Another hotel, which is quite cool, is the MGM Grand in Las Vegas, which has room lighting designed to reset your internal clocks, but has shower water that's infused with vitamin C and air pumped in through air purification filters. Vitamin C water.
That sounds pretty good. That's refreshing after you've had your wake and bake, definitely.
And I mean, I know this isn't anywhere near as exciting as getting you stuff delivered to the back of your Audi, Al. But from 2016, Worldview Enterprises, which sounds like some kind of James Bond villain type company, will carry passengers 20 miles above the Earth's surface in a pressurised cabin suspended beneath a giant 1 gallon helium balloon. 75k if you fancy that. And also space tourism, the most exciting space innovation of a lot of them. So Foster's and Partners announced they're going to be plans to building a colony with the European Space Agency. There's shells built by 3D printers. And then from space to underwater, there's the Water Discus Hotel in Dubai, which is the first of a new breed of hotels that has a kind of giant disc that is submerged underneath the water, and you have an underwater hotel. And on the website they have a video of a curved room, and you see stingrays and sharks swim by, so you can enjoy Dubai from underwater.
Amazing.
So, I mean, it's admittedly, while you're doing that, you could get stuff done.
Do they have Audis? That's the question. If there's not a partnership with DHL.
And so, like, kind of finally to finish off, really, it's an innovation that's sort of been around a little while, but I think not championed enough. And this is Google Plus, the social network that is. So the Google Plus app on your phone automatically backs up your holiday photos, or any photos for that matter, when you're connected to a Wi-Fi network. And it does this really cool thing that if you take a photo of the same thing, like maybe you and your missus looking out to sea, and it'll understand that the photos are very similar, but then it will build a little GIF animation based on that. And as you come back from holiday, you go onto Google Plus, it pulls together a little holiday album, and does animations and videos, pulls in location-based data, and actually encapsulates your holiday in a really nice way. So Google Plus, pretty old. That kind of technology it's been around a little while, but actually, from coming back from your holiday, I think that's probably one of the best things you could do for very little effort.
Yeah, it's absolutely beautiful. You can name some of the frames. You can choose. It picks the photos that are most sharp, and you have some control over it as well. Just like auto creates a mini album when you get back, which is fantastic. I love the little maps. It shows the dots as you move from kind of Salzburg to Innsbruck.
So we've had everything. Our travel special today. So we've had delivered stuff to the back of an Audi. We've had underwater hotels, space tourism,
haptic gloves.
We've had delivering. No need for suitcases. Get Duffel to deliver your stuff with recommendations on what to wear based on the weather.
Vein. Yeah.
We got cannabis hotels, Airbnb for
dog
dogs.
huggy. Yeah, I love that.
So that's it.
So hopefully there's some tips and tricks and some innovations there to make your holiday season as good as it can be in 2015.
Not sure what the theme is for next week. We'll probably work that out on the way home today. But I would like to say thanks, as usual, to Lucky Elephant for our awesome music.
Absolutely.
Thanks to Matt Kempton for our logo design, James Harrison for our photography, of course, CSEs.
Absolutely. Thank you, Darius and the crew.
Yeah, and should we leave with some quotes of the week?
Yeah, let's do that.
Would you like me to go first, Alan?
Why not, Tom?
Okay, so my quote for the end of the week is: "A journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step," which is attributed to Confucius, but actually it was his mate.
Dave.
Well, actually, I'm not even going to attempt to pronounce his name. But anytime you think someone says that's Confucius, you go, "No, that was Confucius's mate."
I'm going to close with a Henry Miller quote. That's hopefully a combination of kind of travel and innovation. "One's destination is never a place, but a new way of seeing things."
Brilliant. Thanks so much.
Thanks.
See you later.
Bye.